Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Good morning.
All right. Well, hey, first off, thank you to our esteemed hosts here at the National Infantry Museum, General White, General Jones, General Schaefer, Mayor Henderson, Mayor Lowe. Thank you for your remarks, and thank you for being absolutely gracious hosts. This is phenomenal. This is an outstanding event, so I truly appreciate all of you hosting us here today. As a Marine, this is my first time to the National Infantry Museum. Marines don't come in land very often, so first time here, and first time to Fort Benning, and it's fantastic. But the solemnity of this location is not lost on me. Going through the gate yesterday, I was impressed. When we walked in, gate guards usually say something kind of silly, something welcome aboard or hoorah or ooh-ah or something like that. But here they said welcome home. And for families, that means a lot, because you go ask any military family, hey, where's home? You get some blank stares. Like everybody's like, what's happening? And welcome home. And yeah, it's very plain to me. Everything I saw yesterday and talking to everyone, soldiers all over the country. I told a lot of friends, coworkers up at the Pentagon, hey, I'm coming down here to Fort Benning, and every one of them had a story that said, hey, say hello to so and so, or check this out. Fond memories and memories of home. And so Fort Benning, the community at large, this is home for just about every soldier in the U.S. military. They've spent some time here, probably some sweat, some blood, some tears, but it means a lot for every family when you can call a place home. That's right here. So I want to thank all of you personally for that. And this museum, though, reflects the heartbeat of our military. There's nothing more dangerous than a soldier or a Marine with a rifle, and this museum reflects that. And the solemnity of everything that we hold dear as Americans, winning our nation's battles, it's reflected in this museum. Now, a big part of that is the sacrifice that our service members and their families make. And I think we say thank you for your service to our service members a lot, but it's usually pretty easy as a service member. You go where you're told, you do what you're said to do. But for spouses, sacrifice means a whole lot more. So if you're a military spouse in the audience, please stand up. Thank you for your service. These are the true heroes. Service member, you're going to go, you're going to get yelled at, you're going to do whatever it is you need to do, but the spouses, you're the ones staying home, you're the ones suffering, dealing with whatever it is, because spouse is not home. That's when everything's going to break. It's when kids are going to act up. So I want to thank every one of you personally, but that's really why we're here, is to let's not just talk about military readiness, but let's talk about a big part of that readiness, which is family readiness. So thank you all. All right, so I've only been at the helm at the Office of Military and Community Family Policy for 3 months, but I've been a part of the military community for really over 20 years. I did 17 years in the Marine Corps, and then I've advocated for the military and community family after leaving and working at a small little company you may have heard of called Amazon. And so even in that role, I was walking the halls of Congress, tirelessly advocating, and I discovered there, when we talk about the military family, we're not Team Red or Team Blue. We're Americans fighting for Team Family, and really, really amazing space, because everybody cares about it. Everybody cares about the military family. Everybody wants to be right. Since getting in here, it's been easy. Came to the Pentagon, and was like, well, you're getting cuts. You're going to lose a budget. And showed up. Hey, we didn't lose any budget in the military family. Well, you're going to lose people. Hey, we haven't lost any people in my office. This is pretty good. So that's rare. It's made my job very easy. But I think that's a testament to all of you and the advocacy you've been doing in your various spaces, both at the service level, our U.S. representatives, and even at the community level. Everybody's very committed, very focused on the family. So our job is to make sure that we're making it as easy for families and thereby easy for service members to move forward and deploy. So I think we've all heard it. When the family's strong, the warfighter is stronger. But family readiness is nested in military readiness, period. It's not two separate things. It's part of that same equation, and we have to approach it as such. Secretary Hegseth, who sends his regards, he's very focused on the family as well. He's made clear, restore warrior ethos, rebuild our military, reestablish deterrence. Every one of those priorities, family is nested in that. We see that throughout every metric that we do. If we miss on something, we see readiness to degrade. If we see readiness to degrade, usually it comes in the form of retention. service members to join the Marine Corps or the Army or the Navy or the Air Force, it's an individual decision, but when they choose to stay in, it's a family decision. Retention matters, and retention matters for our national defense, because we need young warfighters, but we also need old experienced warfighters as well to keep our nation safe. So that's a big part of it, and ensuring what our families have to succeed. And I think we throw around quality of life a lot, but really it's I would not call it quality of life. I would call it operational necessity. It's things our families need to succeed, which means it's things our warfighters need to succeed. Now, a couple things. If you're not familiar with our organization, we handle just about everything under the sun, from cradle to grave, quite literally, that touches the military family. The only thing not under my portfolio directly is DODEA schools, but even that we touch sort of on the front end and the back end with CDCs, and then youth centers as well for after school care. So MWR, resale, MFLEC counselors, everything of that falls in the sun, as well as military one source. These are just some of the things how we support, and these are formalized programs. I fully recognize there are always gaps, and those gaps are filled by the communities, they're filled by volunteers, the wonderful volunteer organizations. You're going to probably hear from some of them today. We need them, we need that partnership, because no two families are alike. And so having those two families together, and bring the military family, bring the volunteer family, and then of course the veterans in our community that all work together, that's what we need to succeed, and that's why we do events like this. But I'm encouraged to see this event. We need more of these sort of events to just bring the entire spectrum of support together to get arms around both military service members and their families. All right, now, emerging priority. Big one is military youth. We spent a lot of focus and time on resilience. It's become a buzzword, but I think what we need to really key in on is youth resilience right here. Put simply, our military children, they are the future. It's what we all serve for ultimately. You go ask any service member who's got a child, they'll tell you they do it for their kids. And we need to be investing resources. I don't think that necessarily means more money, but time and energy to develop and support our future, period. Military youth, the odds are very good that they're gonna, at some point, raise their right hand themselves, and they're going to choose to follow in their parents' footsteps. Not all of them, but I guarantee some of their friends are gonna ask them, say, hey, what do you think about military service? Should I do it? So we need to be investing in that future. You'll get a chance to talk with some of my team members today about this very topic. Amy Roddick, Mike Coltrane, they're here today to talk about some of that dynamic as well, and you're going to hear from them on that. But everything we're doing, we're absolutely continuing other programs we've been running, but we're also going to be looking at military youth, especially. And especially, I think we throw a lot of resources at our 5 and unders, the little ones. We got to take care of them. But what about our teenagers, 10 and over? They're a valuable resource, and I guarantee the enemy's looking at them as well and seeing that as a soft underbelly that they can get to us. So we need to invest in them, we need to protect them, we need to develop them, because that's the future of America right there. All right, our most recent survey of active duty spouses, it was in 2024. You're gonna hear a lot of survey data probably today, and we got over 12,000 responses. Response rate of 20%, which is actually for surveys, that's pretty good. I think we can do better. We're always gonna try to move that number up. If we get 100%, I'd be thrilled, but we know survey data, some people just delete that survey as soon as they get it or throw it in the trash, but we're going to continue to work on that. The odds of being unemployed among spouses, this is one of the triads though. We talk about spouse unemployment being one of the big ones. It's 33% higher when there's a PCS involved. So this is a big thing we're looking at right now. The Secretary's already directed that we take a hard look at PCS tempo and slow that down. And the primary focus is that's the stress point for families, it's the stress point for spouse unemployment. When a family can settle in, when they can be a little bit stable, spouses are employed, because spouses are employed, child care is readily available. But when we see everything start to cavitate, child care falls apart, spouse has to stay home, now we're getting to financial instability. So these are all things that we're constantly thinking about measuring, but the department is very focused on that. A big piece of this is how do we get to the causal factor, and PCS tempo being a big one. So that's something I want to highlight that we're doing. Also on the child care front, we do run the largest employer-sponsored child care program in the world. Yet our military families continue to face challenges finding quality child care. We're continuing to work on this. A couple big programs that we made tremendous strides in, military child care in your neighborhood, which bridges the gap in locations where accredited care is unavailable. And we've also partnered with nonprofit agencies to open new child care facilities exclusively for military families. Another program that exists is we are actually buying slots in existing commercial child care facilities and we offer those directly to military families. And finally, and I know Mike Coltrane is going to talk a lot about this, child care in your home fee assistance programs. We're on the third year of a 5-year pilot, but we'll continue to look at that and continue to figure out how we can expand that program. Now, last one, I touched on spouse employment briefly. I do want to highlight the military spouse employment partnership. Partners have hired over 360,000 spouses since we launched the program. This is incredibly successful. We're continuing to grow it every day. If you know a company that's not part of the MSEP, I encourage you, please tell them, hey, get on the MSEP program. I've been tirelessly pushing that on LinkedIn, everywhere else. Anybody I talk to that's in business and not a part of the MSEP program, we want them to join. It allows companies a fast track to hire military spouses and gives our military spouses an exclusive path to hiring opportunities in companies. Again, attached to that is also the Military Spouse Career Accelerator Program. This program was launched as a pilot in January of 23, and this really is, for lack of a better term, skill bridge for military spouses. It offers a fellowship. They do have to apply, but 500 employers have hosted fellows at this point. And within that, I'm pleased to report, as of today, 1,198 military spouses have been placed into military fellowship programs, and of that, 86% receive a job offer following completion of that fellowship. And these are not low-paying jobs. These are the average right now somewhere in the neighborhood of about $80,000 a year. These are very high-end jobs. They're very lucrative, and they're truly career accelerators that are setting up our military spouses and their families for long-term success, even past the military career. So let me wrap up by saying, military service is a family matter. It's a family decision. I think you've already heard from several individuals in this audience. You're going to probably hear from more where they either chose to serve because somebody else in their family served or their children are serving. And ultimately, any decision that the department makes, we're very well aware that it affects the military family. I can't tell you how many random policies come through my office that they need us to take a look at it. On the surface, it doesn't look like it has anything to do with the military family, but it does impact it. So we're looking at that. We are heavily engaged. My staff is busy around the clock working this stuff, and we're going to continue to stay very focused on this. And like I said, I'll reiterate, retention, it's a family decision. And I think military retention, anybody in recruiting command, you know how much resources go into recruiting service members. The more retention we lose, the more we have to spend on recruiting. So we've got to solve retention. A big part of this is we have to sell the military service to the families. So with that, I do want to take a moment here finally and close out and say thank you for allowing me to attend. But it is my fantastic role to introduce Representative Sanford Bishop. And she couldn't make it, but Representative Jen Kiggins, who are the co-chairs for the Congressional Military Family Caucus. This caucus was established in 2009, and those of you who served back then, we see where family readiness has gone from 2009 to now. It's a very, very different look, and that I'm very proud to say I sincerely believe Representative Bishop had a big part in this. He's been a founding member of that caucus ever since, but he's been a friend, a fierce supporter, and an advocate for military families, and continues to do so. So with that, it is my esteemed pleasure and honor to introduce Representative Bishop. Sir, thank you very much for having us here today, and thank you for your leadership.